are always here, because I think that's the thing, is like if I'm not on it, they're not on it. So it is nice. I feel like we are getting started like faster than probably most other classes.
Great job. So yeah, I think consistency is key, and it just makes things easier, and not just with the do now, but like other parts of the lesson as well. So keep up the good work with that. So today what I want to focus on are consequences. So I'm going to show you a video, and I just want you to like take mental notes of some of the things that you see in the video. And here we go. Just press the play button for me.
Numerators equal or unequal? 1 if you think they're equal, 2 if they're not equal, 3 if you're with me but not sure. I'm going to say it again. 1 equal, 2 not equal, 3 you're with me but you really are not sure about the numerators and denominators. Alright, take $1 off Chris and Jelani, please. If you have a 1 that's correct, Isla be real, how come?
That should be it, like 28 seconds. Short and to the point, right? So what are some of the things that you noticed while watching that video?
I know she was, be seen looking like she was looking around.
Yeah.
She should have that consequence for the student in the back, take $1 from.
So how many times did she actually, how many times did she state the directions? Or how many warnings did she give?
I don't think she did. I wasn't listening for that. I was listening for the consequence.
So let's listen to it one more time with the play button.
Numerators equal or unequal? 1 if you think they're equal, 2 if they're not equal, 3 if you're with me but not sure. I'm going to say it again. 1 equal, 2 not equal, 3 you're with me but you really are not sure about the numerators and denominators.
So how many times did she? Actually 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, because she stated it once, then she went back and said once if you didn't hear, twice if you did. She actually did it 3 times, but she did it so quickly and so fluidly, like you didn't even, like you didn't notice it, right, so to speak. But she actually gave 3 different sets of directions, and then after she gave her 3 different sets of directions, what did she do after that?
After the student did whatever they didn't do, or she gave that consequence?
She gave the consequence. So she gave them 3 sets of directions, and then after the 3rd time, she, it was safe for her to assume that it wasn't that you were confused about what it was that we had to do.
Right.
It was more so a compliance issue.
Right.
So she issued the consequence after that. So I'm going to show you a clip that I took from your class from yesterday. I think we're going to let it play for about a minute, maybe a minute and 30 seconds at the most. We just let it play through. You know this person well. This part. No, we'll keep going. This is what I want you to really focus on. Right there. So what were some of the gaps that you saw in your video compared to the other video? And not so much the gaps, but what were some of the differences that you
well, I think
noticed?
it's definitely like a compliance issue versus like a confusion issue.
Yeah.
I think something I struggle with is our new behavior system, because there aren't really consequences. So there aren't really consequences.
Yeah.
So it feels like once you've given, there's really like nothing to give. And I think that's like the struggle of, I think like maybe I thought it was confusing because we hadn't really done it before, but then I think I started to catch on thinking that like, it's not confusing, you're just like not, you're like halfway doing it. At first I like genuinely was like, well maybe this is actually like unclear, and I probably should have put like signs up, but I wasn't sure. I think after a while it's like maybe we're just not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think it was so much that it was unclear. I think like they're 7th grade, 8th graders. So I think they get the gist of like, move to one side of the class if you agree with this, move to the other side of the class if you agree with that.
Right.
So I think one of the gaps within the video was that the teacher that we first saw, she quickly gave like redirections, and she explained like the directions really quickly. Like she did it 3 times, and then after that it was like an automatic like consequence given.
Right.
So even though I think with the middle school whole behavior system, you guys don't have consequences per se, but you guys can still take things away. So you take point to it, correct?
If you take, my only issue is like if you take that point, that's the point for the class. Like,
Yeah.
you can't take any more points after that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I was like slow to take it, because then it's like now for the rest of like the hour and 10, I have nothing left.
Yeah, so maybe you can start implementing things like group points and stuff to maybe like give you a little bit more leeway.
Right.
But I think it's going to be very important for you to like issue those consequences like real, like a little bit more swiftly than what you've been doing. I like how you err on the side of caution.
Right.
But after about the 3rd time, I would go on ahead and issue that consequence.
Yeah,
I think that's the
definitely
gap.
agree.
Yeah. I think that's the gap between the other video and your video, is that I think you were a little bit more lenient with your issuing of consequences, and that can turn around. Like, if we get to October and they know that they have about 4 takes with Murray, like,
Yeah.
they're not going to be exhausted, but you're going to be exhausted
Right.
after you've taught 4 classes and you have 200 students who've caught on to, I get 4 tries before I actually get my point deducted. So, that will be what we're going to focus on today. So our action steps will be to issue clear and concise directions. Clear and concise consequences. But how do we go about doing that? Like, what are some of the steps that you want to take before you actually issue that consequence?
Clear directions.
Clear directions.
Modeling.
Mm-hmm.
And narrating positively.
So clear directions, modeling, and narrating positively are going to be our action steps in order to be able to issue out those clear and concise consequences. So that's what we're focusing on today. Clear and concise consequences. Could you go on ahead and write that down on the back of this? Clear and concise consequences. And when you get the chance, could you open up your computer, let's take a look at one of your lesson plans, and let's script into a part of your lesson plan where you know there's going to be a chance that you're going to have to issue clear and concise consequences. Just let me know the one that you actually pull up, and I'll pull it up.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it.
No, I was wrong.
I have 8th grade, day 4 or 5 items.
Cool deal. So looking at that, what part of the lesson do you see yourself actually, or do you predict that you're actually going to have to give clear and concise instructions and issue out consequences if necessary?
So I think on the Explore,
Awesome.
they're like student volunteers with whiteboards,
Mhm.
and they have to move based on some directions.
Yep.
So I think that would lend itself towards like potential confusion, or like maybe I wouldn't like predict an issue with the class, but maybe like calling out from, or not from the volunteers, but maybe calling out from the class. or like other things as it's happening.
So say it a little bit louder for me.
Oh, sorry. So on Thursday during the Explore, students are holding whiteboards up with pluses and minuses, and they're going to be modeling out an atom. So they're going to be asked to move based on the directions I'm giving them. I'm not anticipating a lot of issues with the student volunteers, but maybe the rest of the class who's like observing with like calling out or trying to like jump the gun on predicting what the overall charge would be.
Yeah, so that's going to be a perfect time for you to actually like implement the issuing of consequences if necessary, right? So take some time to actually go ahead and script that out within your lesson, like little bullet points if you need to, like what it is that you're going to say, and then after that we're going to practice it maybe once or twice. Take about 2 minutes to do that.
Okay.
Alright, gonna finish some sections. So let's go ahead and act it out. So let's pretend that we're in the moment. They're holding up the whiteboards. What does it look like?
So I
Stand
said,
on it.
Okay.
All right. What does it look like?
So I said